Today's Cosplay Con Talk episode is sponsored by Moco Queen Color Contacts. Don't forget to use my code Wayne for 10% off at checkout at mocoqueen.com. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. How's everyone? Wayne the Known here, and welcome back to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. I'm joined here by Aryn Chi, Pacific Northwest Best Cosplayer, who you may remember from when I interviewed at Metal Arc Comic Con or Anna Medford. It was Anna Medford last year, 2025. And Aaron, thank you for coming on. This is their first full time being here on the channel for a full on interview. Yeah, so basically we're to talk about how long you've been in cosplay, how long you've been doing it for, all that fun stuff. So to begin, how long have you been cosplaying for and what got you into cosplay?
I have been cosplaying for about 11 years. I started in 2015, and I originally saw a cosplayer on Facebook who was cosplaying from Beauty and the Beast. She was in Belle's yellow gown, and she was just like radiant and like so like positive, and I knew that was something that would bring me joy if I endeavored to participate in cosplay as well. So I tried it out. My first cosplay was Toru Honda from Fruits Basket, and I got the some on some random website. Like I don't think that like anything was available on like regular like sites that many cosplayers use today. So I don't even remember what site it was on, but I bought her outfit and I went to my grandma's house. She took photos of me and I made my cosplay Facebook account and then made my cosplay Instagram account and then Facebook account, and now I'm only.
So you said your first cosplay was Toru Honda from Fruits Basket. That's so I'm guessing the original anime, not the one that was it's more based on the manga.
Yes, so it was the original anime that was around in the early 2000s. That anime, it probably, I think it was middle school. My best friend had showed it to me and we watched it together. And then I just continued watching it after she left for the day. And then I got so into it that I bought the entire manga series. The first show, the first iteration of the show, uh, stops, um, and there's no more. So I was like, "Ah, there has to be more. There has to be more of these characters I love." So I bought all the manga, and that still isn't enough. So I decided to cosplay as Toru.
Nice. Do you remember what your very first convention was? And again, so you said you've been cosplaying for, excuse me, since 2015. So you, or as I call it, a cosplay veteran. You have been cosplaying for over 10 years. You've seen the change of the con scene, the cosplay scene, and you got to experience conventions before COVID.
Yes, yes. My first convention was like wild to be my first convention, but it was Anime Expo in Los Angeles. And I flew down there by myself. I was in middle school. I flew down there by myself. I connected with my family who lived down in Los Angeles and then hung out with them for the weekend. We all did convention together. So thankfully, I was not alone at the
I
convention.
was gonna
I
say,
had
just flying down there by yourself. That's just, especially to LA, and like you decided, as I call it, you didn't want to go to Disneyland. You didn't want to go to some small time county fair. He's like, you know what? I want to go to Disney World.
yes. Well, at the time, I didn't know that there was, I guess, more locations. I didn't know that KomoriCon was a thing. I didn't know, I don't even know if Anna Medford or
Oh
Rogue
no.
Comic Con happening because I'm from um so I kind of was introduced to conventions through my cousins who were down in LA. So I assumed that that was the place to go for a convention. So that was the first one I went to, and it was actually not as overwhelming as I think I would be now. Like if I went to Anime Expo like now, I think I'd really overstimulated, but it was fine.
I mean, like you said, if you were to go now, you have a better idea of what it's like. I mean, it's grown so much more since then. I remember seeing a video like 2 years ago or so of like how packed it was. Escalators were not working, people were passing out, fire marshal had to get involved because everyone's body heat and such like
Yeah.
and I think that's what usually causes, why fire marshals got involved. Everyone's body heat was so radiating, and who knows who hadn't taken a shower that day. I mean,
Well, everyone's wearing like layers and layers of their cosplays. Some people are wearing non-breathing material like leather and like this really intense like foam or whatever it is, wearing helmets. So yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
and again, I'm not trying to harp on anyone, but please, if you're going to a con and you can afford it, put on deodorant, please shower. I mean, I know there are some people who have medical conditions where no matter how many times they shower, they, they can't help it. But if you don't have a medical condition and you are able to smell good, please put deodorant on, please shower. No one wants to be that close to where they can smell you from like 3 feet away. I've just, ugh.
Yeah. Your best, and I guarantee you will have a much more enjoyable time at the kitchen because people will want to come up to you and talk to you instead of avoiding you.
Oh, no, true. So how many conventions have you been to total since you first started going?
So I have been to Anime Expo. I've been to KomoriCon, Rogue Comic Con, Anna Medford, Met. Did I already say Metal Arc?
No, you didn't say Metal Arc.
No, okay, Metal Arc Comic Con, Fest, and Long Con up in Washington. So I've been to six uh, conventions, and most of them have been in Oregon. But then I went to Anime Expo, which was in Los Angeles, and then Long Con, which was in Longview, Washington. So I've just stayed over here on the west side of the United States.
Now a question I haven't asked in a long time. This is pertaining to conventions. We talk about conventions and cosplay stuff. Advice for someone who wants to go to their first convention, but they don't want to go to some local convention. They don't want to go to a medium. They want to go to a big convention. What advice would you want to give someone who wants to go to a big convention for their first con?
They want to go to Disney World. Uh, I think you really need to make sure that you have people with you. Um, Even if you're traveling solo, if you're fine traveling solo, more power to you. But I would highly recommend meeting up with people, know um, the convention space at the convention. So that way, for safety reasons, so people know who you are and they can look out for you if you need it, but also to just have a buddy system and be like, I don't know where the bathroom is.
Yes.
Sally, like,
Always bring a convention exit buddy with you.
yes, yes. So make sure you have a buddy is first tip that I would have. To plan as much as you are able to your kind of schedule of weekend. You're going to be there for the full weekend. I'm somebody who has a lot of anxiety around traveling and going to larger events. I plan everything as much as I can. I plan uh, what time I need to wake up in the morning in order for me to get into cosplay. And what time I want to go to the first panel of the day, or if I want to go to Artist Alley that opens first thing, I'll be going to that. Um, and then planning how you are going to feed yourself at the convention. Um, if you are going to go and buy food at the convention center, have a little bit larger budget because it can be really expensive to buy food at the convention center or the hotel space, wherever the convention is being held. And if you're going to go off, I guess I say off campus, off of the convention grounds, know where you're going and bring a buddy with you because if you leave the convention space, you are no longer in, yes, I would say like friendly space, like because when you go into a convention, you are automatically surrounded by fandom, people who love the thing that you love. They understand why you're here, why you're dressed up, why you're wearing a wig, why maybe you are wearing different clothes than you normally do. As soon as you step off campus, there are people who are looking at you and they have questions. They're like, "Why are you dressed like that? What like why are you by yourself?" Uh, it's just it's better if you're going to go off campus at a convention to take a buddy with you, go there, come back. Um, Especially because there usually are safety officers or like volunteer people at the convention to keep you safe. When you step off campus, there's not really that guarantee.
Well, you already answered my question about first-time con goers, whether they're just going non-cosplay versus when they're going in cosplay. So you already answered that. You already answered about the food thing. Um, Next thing, travel and hotel. What are some key things that you've learned when traveling, and what advice would you want to give to someone who's going to be traveling for a con, and how they should prepare when it comes to accommodations and everything, and also budgeting?
So for accommodations, um, I think the first thing we usually do, I have a group of friends, and we usually, excuse me, get a hotel room for either CamorCon or a con that's farther away that requires us to stay overnight. So we'll get a hotel. Um, this works for us because we're usually a group of three, sometimes four, um, so we can stay in the same hotel room together and we can split costs. Um, and usually we stay in a hotel that is sponsored by the convention. So we will go to the website and see if they have any rooms like set aside, like booked specific for convention attendees. And we'll book through the convention's website. And sometimes that's at a discounted price and you can get a little some money. But you can also find like Airbnbs, and you could get a group of larger convention goers together and save money by renting out a whole house, a whole Airbnb. But with that, it's not going to be as close to the convention space as the convention sponsored hotel. So you do have to factor in everything and then parking. So make sure that your parking is your park situation is familiar to you, or someone who is like cool as a cucumber and parking does not phase them.
And I think what people need to realize about convention sponsored hotels, those go really fast. They're up, and you really gotta like if you want to be that close to the convention, you gotta if you're able to post those up months in advance, and usually, they're gone. Like, sorry, we know you wanted to get this, but it's already booked, and not to, and also got to say this a good chunk of the times. For example, like the Hyatt Regency or any of those fancy hotels that are literally right across from the convention center, they'll usually book those for their guests too, like their special guests, their actors, their singers, their artists, whatever. So,
And they're they're really nice because they are like right across the street from the convention center, or they are part of the convention center, like the hotel. And you do get to have like cool experiences where at the end of a long convention day and the convention has shut down, you and like 50 other people are walking to the same hotel and you can have these cool conversations and connections of like, oh my God, cool. Like, did you see this happen? Like, I love your cosplay. Like, oh, there's a badge ribbon. Like, oh, like, I love that. Like, bracelet. Like, there's so much connection that happen when you stay in a sponsored hotel. And there's also stuff that happens where, like, you might run into a celebrity and or a voice actor. That happened a couple times where we were in the elevator with one of the special guests at Con, and that was really cool. Um, you said it can be expensive. There can be non-cosplayers or non-convention workers at the hotel, so they might give you some weird stares or weird looks, but if that doesn't bother you, more like it doesn't bother me, so I'm fine with it. Just know that could be a possibility. Um, but I try as best I can to stay in the hotel that's close to the convention center because after a long day of walking around in like platform heels, the last thing you would do is walk like a mile and a half or several city blocks to your other hotel that is not sponsored by the convention.
Uh, I can't argue with that. And I think one thing people should know is that there are going to be non-event people staying at a hotel, so you got to be mindful of them too.
Hmm.
Or sometimes there are those cases where the event center is having two events going on, so you're gonna be crossing with non-convention people who are at an event for some gala or party. Like for example, Komori-Con, they had some gala thing going on that was completely different from the convention on, I think it was like on day zero last
Hmm.
year. Oh, and speaking of badge ribbons, I mean,
Yes. Yes, I love it.
like I remember watching the video last year for Kumo. I wasn't there to see it in person because I we had left already on day three. That they were doing they let people get to the top floor and just drop their like have like ugh.
It was like a waterfall of badge ribbons, and it was really cool. There was like, like at least like five people lined up on the top floor,
And then
and
I
they
felt
threw their.
I felt bad for the person whose badges just fell completely on the
I
floor.
saw that they like broke halfway off. I was like, no. But I have my little collection of badge ribbons back here. On the very end is the most recent one, the most recent Con that happened, and that has been the most badge ribbon I've ever collected so far. But I
Oh no.
love badge ribbons. Like,
I'm definitely gonna have to like look into getting some made now for Kumo this year and possibly Rose City pending. That's still a work in progress. But yeah, budgeting. Um, how do you go about saving money? Because I know some people when they go to a con, they want to buy stuff right away on day one, not realizing, oh yeah, wait, well now I don't have money for food or I don't have money to get back. What are some best ways of budgeting for travel, food, and the con?
so my method of budgeting, when I'm at the convention, so like before the convention, like a couple days before, I will go to my bank and I will withdraw however much cash I am willing to send in our site. And I put that in an envelope and I take it with me, and I keep it very close to the person when I am walking out to Artist Alley because you don't want to just leave your bag somewhere and then all of that cash is just gone. But take out money in cash beforehand so that way I uh over budget and say, oh, I can just put it on my card. I can just put it on my card. Once my envelope of cash is gone, it's gone. I've spent it and I can't go over. The second reason I do that is also to be accommodating to the and the vendors at the Sally or wherever else I'm spending money. So that way, if I really want to purchase their item and they don't have a card reader, like, then I'm out of luck. So I can just always give them cash. Everyone will still accept paper money, um, and coins. So that is your, I think, safe. Um, but it's also kind of nice because sometimes card readers will they'll have like a credit card fee, like either 4 or 5% on top of the on top of the cost of the item you're purchasing. So save yourself a little money, bring cash. Um, so that's kind of my tip for artist alley budgeting. When I'm budgeting for um expenses out of artist alley like food and gas money, hotels, things like that. I am a spreadsheet person and I put everything on a spreadsheet, the screenshot, the receipts, and I plug it to the spreadsheet. And I have gone to conventions for so long that I have a spreadsheet for every convention that I've been to. I can look back on previous years and say, this is how much I spent this coming year. This is how much I need aside. Um, so I can be prepared. And if you're uh, going with a group of friends or you meet up with people, you can like meals and stuff like that. So if you go to a fast food restaurant and everybody purchases something on my credit card, I will take a screenshot and I'll send it to everybody at the end of the convention and say, this is how much you owe me, this is how much I owe you, and we can take care of it.
That's honestly a. I mean, I've known like I was when I went to a post-con dinner with a group of people. Instead of everyone getting a separate bill, we just Venmoed the one person, and they would, and we would sit a little extra because, one for tip, two, Venmo likes to take a small fee out. Um, something I wanted to bring up more. What is your go-to food place when going to a convention? Like, what are you usually craving when you're hungry? Because let's face it, sometimes convention food can be expensive. It's not the
Mhm.
event's fault. It's the, the business. They're the ones that are charging it at the event.
So it's a different kind of question. Like I have to take it with a grain of salt because I have celiac disease, which is a dietary restriction where you can't have gluten. So I usually can count on the convention space not having anything for me to eat.
It
So
has to be like gluten free
yes, it has to be wheat, oats, barley, malt, and rye free. So those are my big five I
and
cannot
a good
have.
chunk and a good chunk of like you're usually serving burgers or some type of thing with bread.
Burgers and uh uh chicken, like deep fried chicken, French fries, like even if it's like a burrito plate, flour tortilla, I can't have that. So um what I have to do and what I know a lot of other people with dietary restrictions have to do is bring in their own food. And I know it's against most convention guidelines to bring in your own food. However,
Kumo's pretty chill about it though.
yes, they
From
are pretty chill about it, and
from
I'm
what
grateful for
from
that.
what I've seen, because I had a friend bring me a sandwich once because I was just so hungry because just having to save money and not really budget planning, but like I know they're pretty chill about bring food and drink, no, as long as it's not alcohol. But I know they're pretty chill because they know even the event knows like yeah, Dragon Boat and all these other places, the market are so stupid expensive. Like yeah,
Mhm.
no, we can so long as you clean up after yourself.
Like just leave your trash everywhere. Don't like be walking around with an open like pizza box or something. But please eat at conventions. Please eat. Do not go from 8 a.m. to midnight without putting something into your stomach. So however you can do that, if it's eating uh, uh, granola bars or like snacks or something protein and you put it in your convention bag and you're walking around, great. Um, or plan going again off campus and finding a fast food restaurant. When I'm up at KomoriCon, I will typically go to Burgerville.
Yes.
And I
Sorry.
love Burgerville, but it is so busy all the time because
Oh,
everyone,
no, when I went in 2023, I'm like, it wasn't bad, but like, soon as I sat down, I'm like, oh God, I'm glad I ordered when I did.
yeah.
This is,
Well, and it's eating at a space where at a restaurant that's immediately outside of a convention space is always going to be packed with cosplayers.
oh yeah.
But it's, I would say, doubly overstimulating because suddenly you're sitting down in this tiny seat and you've got like your shoulder pads and your wings and your armor, and you're trying to eat a burger without filling it on your outfit, and you're fighting a wig headache, and the orders are being called out around you, so it can really overwhelming. So what I started doing was mobile ordering, picking it up, or getting like Uber Eats if you can do that kind of stuff, and then take back to the hotel or eating it outside of the convention, like steps or whatever it is. And it's such a game changer because you can actually relax while you are eating.
Oh
You can
no,
actually sit down.
I completely agree. Like there are even some people like when I was a group of friends I went with, they got a bunch of food uh they got a bunch of like snacks, stuff like this, made some sandwiches and we just put it all in our fridge. Because sometimes, like me for example, if I don't eat a certain amount or if I go a couple hours without eating, I'm gonna feel exhausted. I'm gonna feel drained. I don't know if it's just diabetic or whatever, but like if like my body just starts to like wants to shut down. So I'm like, okay, we need to at least get something in our system before we go back over to the con to capture more footage or go to the hotel and interview some special guests. Because no, I feel like eating is important, and also even though I'm bad at this myself, energy drinks do not count as a source of food,
No,
despite
Dr.
I,
Pepper.
it's either a zero sugar monster for me or a Rockstar or some type of or Java Monster because I need my caffeine. If I'm gonna be waking up early to go to a con or to get ready for an interview at a con, I'm gonna need some source of caffeine just so I can at least function for a good chunk of the day and then scarf down a freaking I don't know something for breakfast or something, or I'm just gonna chug a full thing of Monster, and I'm like, let's do this. We'll get some real food when we can.
Right. That's another thing I would tell like first time goer or anybody who's a little bit like anxious about uh going to like bigger events like this to make sure that you know your food situation is going into it. If there's a mini fridge available or if you need to bring a cooler. Um uh Aside from how long you are actually able to be at the convention, like during the day slash time, because myself and many other cosplayers wake up as early as possible to get into outfits or like body paint or if there's an intricate piece of clothing to try to get yourself into. That can take a long time. So if you're waking up super early and then you're staying at the convention all day and the convention ends at midnight or morning, whatever it is, and then you're waking up again in 4 hours to do all again the next day, you are going to be absolutely drained. Plan when you can take those moments away from the convention, whether that is your meal or if you need to take a nap, whatever it is, plan the moment.
Oh no, I completely agree. So we got about 10 more minutes for this part, and then we'll do the next part. Um, let's see, so you pretty much answered a bunch of convention related stuff. Going on now. What are some of your dream conventions? Like, what are conventions you plan on going to for this year, and what is your all-time dream con? Is con you always wanted to go to, just right now it's just not in the budget?
So I would love to check out SakuraCon. It was in Seattle. And that just happened a couple weekends ago, maybe. Um, that a lot of my friends go to that one, and I've never really thought of Seattle, so it'd be really cool to go check that out. And I know that it's a bigger convention, so to see how it rates. Um, I'd also love to go back to Anime Expo next year because one of my favorite cosplayers is going to be a cosplay guest there.
Ooh, who's that?
And I love him. His name is Twin Fools. He's been
Ah,
cosplaying for,
they've been on my interview list for a while now. I definitely want them to
yeah,
come onto the channel. Their Sora cosplay is honestly the best.
they recently did the Pharaoh Orgy from Yu-Gi-Oh! I was like, oh my God. Like, I opened up Instagram and that was the first thing I saw and I lost my mind. And then I've been following them since they were a group called Fighting Productions. They were doing Naruto stuff and they did a Kyo from Fruits Basket, which I was actually super into because that was my first cosplay. But yeah, I love Twin Fools. I would love to meet him at Anime Expo next year. I don't know. Or no, it's this year. It's this summer. I don't know if I can make it happen, but I would love to go to Anime Expo. Sakura. There's one over on the East Coast, and it has that fancy gazebo, and I see all of the gazebo pictures all the time. I can't remember what it's called. I would love to go see that one. I want to say it's in like Florida or something. I'm not sure.
The
But
only one I can think that's well known in Florida is Holiday Matsuri.
yeah, I don't think it's Holiday Massacre, but I don't know. I'll think of it later and like be mad that I forgot what it's called.
Well, that's it for this one. Let's end this recording so we can do the next one. All right, so now that we've talked about the convention stuff, experiences, advice, let's get on to some cosplay related questions before we go on to some of my other before we talk about some of your cosplays. So, and you already talked about first time cosplayers going to a con. Um, and I remember you were telling me, I think was it, I don't know, I'm not sure. No, I remember during, I think it was 2024 and I meant for the Metal Arc, you were cosplaying I can't remember her name from Yu-Gi-Oh! She has a black hair and orange and black outfit.
Harley.
So I remember you saying how you were slowly still working on that while you were in the car while heading
Oh
to it.
yes.
Was it to that con or was it to Komori Con? Is when you were working on
I
that?
I was working on it in 2022, but I had told you that story in 2024. But it was Dark Signer Carly from 5Ds, and I am a procrastinator and was sewing the whole outfit uh, 2 days before we left for day zero of convention because we travel up on the Thursday for Oricon. And I had done about half of it on, it must have been the Tuesday before, and I took work and, you know, fed myself. And then the next day, I was up until really late at night, um, continuing to sew the rest of the outfit. And then I had to stop because the sewing machine broke.
Oh
Um,
no.
I think it was saying like, please let me
I
die
mean,
because I
I've
was
heard of
pushing it for
I've heard
two
of Con
days.
Crunchy before, but I've never heard of Con Crunch while in the car, like at a hotel, yes, but not like literally while in the car.
Yes, so we I was like, I have to get this done because I have a photo shoot on Friday morning. So we went to bed Wednesday night. got in the car and packed my hand sewing stuff, and I drove, and my best friend was in the back seat and hand sewed the rest of the cape. Until this day, I still find orange thread in my car.
What kind of advice would you want to give to someone? Because this is a question to ask in a long time. When you're con crunching, what are some of the what's some like good advice? Because I know some people will bring, if they don't if they realize, oh, I'm gonna have to work on this at the hotel, I'm gonna bring a spare one if I have it. Because not everyone will do that. But what kind of advice would you want to give for those who are new to, especially new to making their cosplays, and they're on a con crunch?
I would say I think the basic advice is to make sure that you have all of the materials that you need to actually finish it. So if that looks like a hand sewing kit, if that looks like a hot glue gun and extra hot glue sticks, um, if it's a steamer, if you're doing wig stuff, if you need a wig head, scissors, like all of these things, like just make sure you have them so that way you can actually work on it. And it always helps to write a list before, like if you're packing like last minute and you know that you're going to need to make stuff in the hotel room, or in the car, make a list of everything that you need and then check off as you're packing it. The second thing I recommend is to bring some sort of a table to your hotel. Um, like if you have like a little TV tray that like pops up and it falls flat, or like a desk like that sits on your lap, any sort of flat surface would be a great benefit to have when you're con crunching in the hotel, especially if you have two or more people in the hotel room with you, because already in a hotel there's very limited counter space to put your bags and put your toiletries. So if you can find a way to bring some sort of a flat surface that's, I don't know, even the size of like a laptop, that's gonna be a game changer for you if you need to do stuff that is uh like detail work. Like if you need to draw on fabric, if you need to I don't know, make a cord or make a final teeny tiny prop, have something to lay your stuff on.
I think that's some honestly good advice. Another question. So there are some cosplayers out there who, especially those who are new, who don't know what to do, who they look up cosplay and they see these well-known cosplayers and they think that's what cosplay is. What kind of advice would you want to give to someone who is like, afraid to cosplay because they are not sure how to go about it?
There, like most people who are afraid to cosplay, it could be like an insecurity thing about themselves, but I think it's also because they are only seeing one type of cosplay. So I think as more seasoned cosplayers, it's kind of our job to like tell the younger ones or the newer ones that cosplay can be anything. Like you can do cosplay, you can gender bend stuff, you can buy your cosplay, you can make your cosplay, you can borrow your cosplay. Um, it does not have to be true to the media, so it doesn't have to actually like be a perfect representation of who the character is. You can put your own spin on it. If you are someone who it gets like dysphoric when you're wearing a certain type of outfit, make it more comfortable to what your identity is, so that way you actually feel comfortable cosplaying these characters that you love. Cosplay can be anything. Um, so I think it's important for the more seasoned cosplayers to communicate that, and also show that. So we're not just saying, we're doing. Um, and uh, just being uplifting when we see any type of cosplay. Like you can wear an inflatable suit. You can wear really tight clothing. You can wear armor. You can wear really flowy clothing. Like it's all cosplay if you're having. So I would say if you're nervous about getting into cosplay, for those, cosplay can be anything. If you're nervous about getting into cosplay because you're worried about how you'll look or you're nervous about how you'll be perceived, I want to communicate to new people that the cosplay community is one of the most accepting communities that I come across. Um, Everyone that I have interacted with has been such a positive influence in my life, and are just uplifting and are gonna hype you up. No one's gonna like come up to you and say, "Wow, your cosplay really sucks," or like, "Oh, I don't like the way that looks." And if they do, ignore them. They obviously don't want to be your friend, so don't give them the time, energy, or attention and go have fun. And if anyone ever comes up to you and says that, tell them to come to me because I will them off.
I honestly think that's good advice, and I'm for also from a believer that cosplay is for everybody, just like, and I'm going to be sound a little petty when I say this, that cosplay contests are also part of the cosplay community, despite what some
Absolutely.
people may say. I'm not saying any names, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. Uh, and I think there's there's always going to be, I think, drama that happens, especially when you get into larger like platforms. Fandom grows, like you're starting with a small fandom and then things get bigger and more people join it, so there's more voices that are happening in conversations. Same thing with cosplay. Like it started off as, you know, not very many people did it. Maybe a lot of people thought it was weird, and then as it's become more mainstream, more people are adding their voices and their opinions to this conversation and this community. And I think it's important that nobody takes one person's thoughts as like the ultimate truth. Like this is like the cosplay like word of God. Like no, like this is a like ever evolving, ever changing community, and we all have a place in it. We all have a place to perform in it. Any avenue of cosplay is valid.
Oh, I firmly believe, and not everyone who's going into cosplay or cosplay competitions is going with the mindset like, oh, I'm doing this for the fame, I'm doing this for the money, I'm doing this for the clout, the followers. It's like, no, there are some people who are going into this to get into this hobby. Yes, it's an expensive hobby no matter how you look at it, but not everyone's going with that mindset of like, oh, I'm doing this so I can be popular and famous and do like, no, 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 I don't know where that mindset came, and if I'm going to be honest, if the interview I'm talking about, that question could have been answered way differently, and that question could have been asked way differently too.
Yes. Yes.
And you also, speaking of competitions and whatnot, you also enter in lip sync contests. What is that like, and what made you decide that you wanted to enter your cosplays and lip sync stuff?
So I was not familiar with cosplay lip sync until I was at KomoriCon in 2022. So that was the year of the sewing in the backseat incident. Um, but that was the first year that I had attended KomoriCon's main stage uh, lip sync competition. Um, and I had a great seat and I was able to like see everyone on stage pretty up close, and uh just the energy that radiated off of the stage and the positive vibes in the audience was something I immediately knew I have to be a part of that. I have to be either backstage helping out, I need to be on stage making people smile, I need to be on stage expressing myself through cosplay, through dance, through lip sync. It was immediately something I was invested in. And I was lucky enough to get into the cosplay lip sync showdown 2023 at Moricon. So that was my very first ever cosplay lip sync show. I had practiced, I kid you not, for an entire year, 165 days for this show on the whim, on the chance that I would get in. And I did get in. I traveled up there and I was able to meet the coordinators and meet the people who were in the show, the other contestants. I was able to meet the backstage folks who hype you up and brush your wig and help you put pins in your cosplay so it doesn't fall off you on stage um and meet the hosts and the judges and uh just being a part of that community was amazing already. And then I got on stage and performed, and what a rush of energy. And it made me feel happy to finally bring this performance to the stage after practicing it for an entire year. When I got off stage, it was just like I was shaking with how much like adrenaline that was left in my body because it's so exciting to be up there. Um, and then to my absolute shock, I hear my name being called as a finalist for the showdown. I rush up on stage. I have no idea that this was going to happen. It was my first time doing cosplay lip sync, and then I won the showdown. I got the championship like title, and I absolutely my mind was blown that I I was just there to like enjoy and be a part of this community and meet friends and meet other like-minded people, and then suddenly like a win. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, me? Are you sure? Like
What
um
was the cosplay that you entered the lip sync in?
it was Dark Signer Carly from Yu-Gi-Oh! IDs, and I performed to the song Nightcrawler by Miley Cyrus and Billy Idol. Yes, Billy Idol. Um, and it was Paso Doble inspired. So I'm someone who watches a lot of Dancing with the Stars. And my favorite dance in Dancing with the Stars is the Paso Doble. Um, and the cosplay has a really cool open skirt, open front in the skirt. So you get to do like cool whips and like spin with it. So I really
Nice.
lean into the cosplays uh, abilities with the Paso Dobles, and I just had so much fun. And then the next year, I got to judge because I won. So I was then on the other side of the table, and it is so difficult to be a cosplay judge, let me tell you, because you look at everybody on stage, it's like 20 acts, and suddenly you have to choose three to be like your judge's choice, and then two for the final showdown. So you only get five out of those 20 acts that like get to be recognized on stage. But everyone does such an amazing job, and to just even get on stage is a huge win because I think last year there was over, I'm gonna get the number wrong, but I know there was more than 60 applicants
Oh,
to the lip sync.
for Kumo? I
Yeah.
mean I
So,
don't doubt it with how big the stage is and how well known Kumo is and how many people want to get up there. I think most of the time it's not it's like yeah, they're wanting to show off their dance moves, but they're also wanting to show off their cosplay too, just like a cosplay
yes.
contest.
Yes. And the cool thing about the lip sync is that you don't necessarily need to be like you don't need to adhere to such strict like visuals. So like in a cosplay contest where as in a lip sync you can be like you could say like this is the cowboy version of this character. My this is my OC. You can really do anything with cosplay lip sync, and you're not being judged based on your build of the cosplay. You're being judged based on your lip syncing, the way that you interact with the audience, your stage presence. things like that instead of the actual creating of cosplay.
Now, another question I have, because you've worn um like bodysuits, skin tight outfits, like for example, your Peter Parker Spider-Man and your Joy from Inside Out. First off, what is that like wearing like the skin tight outfits like that? And also, what's it like doing body paint?
So, uh, I guess I'll talk about Spider-Man first. Um, I did a lot of research before buying the spider suit to make sure that I got the right uh, measurements for myself. And I went to a very well-trusted website that a lot of other spider players utilize. And I painstakingly measured like every part of your body that they ask you for, even like your wrists and like how long your neck is, um, because it is skin tight and you need to make sure that it is comfortable for you to maneuver around in. Um, Even just walking around, if something is chafing you in the wrong spot, you're gonna have a terrible con day because you're uncomfortable. And no one wants a terrible con day. You spent all this money getting there. You want to have a good time. So, uh, with Spider-Man suit, what I did after making sure that I was like all measured correctly, I took a couple extra steps to ensure comfort, and I put in my insoles, my shoes, my the Dr. Scholl's that I've had for however many years. I slid them into the bottom of the spider suit, so that way there's just a little bit more cushioning between my bare feet and the concrete.
Oh yeah, because that's how
Because a
like
lot,
that's how they get ruined. And then there are some websites where you can have them add inserts.
right. And I bought the ones that already had um track or not the track, but the grippy stuff on bottom that actually lets you grip the floor that you're walking on instead of just uh the slick fabric. But I put the insoles in there for arch support and comfort. And then I also wore um like a body shapewear kind of like suit underneath. I guess it's kind of like a jumpsuit, and that was uh skin tight and hugs your body in a little bit closer, just so that there's a little bit of breathing room in between yourself and the suit.
Oh yeah, because I
Um,
mean, you don't want to be, just wearing like your underwear or whatever underneath, and you're
no,
sweating, and it also feels weird just wearing one, you know.
it is. My biggest tip for if you're gonna get a spider suit or any type of full body is to make sure that you buy the zipper add-on that's here at your forearm, at your wrist. So that way you can easily just zip that, take your glove off, and then you can eat, or you can use your phone um, without having no access to your fingers all
And
day.
and and crotch zippers, especially if you need to go to the
Uh,
bathroom.
yes, yes. Crotch zippers, wrist zippers, those are my big tips for spider suit. And get somebody to help you zip it up if you can't reach all the way behind your head. Um, and then with my Inside Out cosplay for Joy, um, I knew that I didn't have the patience to do full body paint. I knew I could do my face because I'm very comfortable with doing face makeup, but I knew I did not want to do like arms and fingers, legs, and all these things. So I bought a full body, uh, I guess it's a stocking, full body stocking is what you would call it because there's tights and stuff like that, which are called stockings. But it's a full body stocking, and you can get them um, from small businesses. You can kind of DIY your own from different pieces from like uh, wholesale stores like Amazon and stuff like that. Um, but it's a softer material than the spider suit is. It's more of like a tights kind of it's like it has a little bit of spandex in it, but it's softer than the side is. Um, and that was difficult because it didn't have the wrist zipper. So what I ended up having to do was cut a tiny little slit in my glove on my finger, so that way I could actually use my phone while I was at convention. And when I say use my phone, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm just gonna scroll on like my Instagram or whatever at the convention. I'm saying I had to use my phone so I could order food and check where the panels are at and like email the people who I need to email because I'm a part of the lip sync. And so make sure that you have access to whatever communication device you were using, or have a best friend who wants to come around with you all day and they do your handler duties for you.
It basically, as I call it, a pack mule, so to speak.
Oh yes. They'll hold all the bags. They'll yeah. That's why I always say to have a convention buddy. Um, not just for safety, but also for logistics.
Oh no. And also, a question, this is another one I ask when it comes to like body paint or if whether you're male or female and you want to wear heels, because I imagine you've worn heels before, especially like for example, Carly, and I imagine even May too, you've worn boots for May.
Hmm.
Test to make sure that your feet are comfortable in them, and if you're doing paint, well, even if it's just basic makeup or body paint, always test to make sure you're not sensitive.
Yes, and you want to make sure that you test things before with makeup as well because you don't want it to like sweat off of you when you're at the convention all day. Um, if you're planning on wearing that cosplay all day and you want the body paint or face makeup to last all day, um, make sure that you buy appropriate supplies to ensure that it stays. So face powder, setting spray. Make sure you prime your skin as best as you can. All of those things are going to help your makeup and your body paint last.
Same could be said for even like wigs too. Make sure if you're going to order a wig, make sure it's the right size wig, or make sure you style it. Whether you get it commissioned, or especially if you commission it, make sure you give them the right measurements. Or if you're going
Mhm.
to buy a wig and do it yourself, make sure you get the proper stuff.
Yes. There's been so many wig headaches that I have endured that could have been avoided by buying the right size wig or just buying one that wasn't, the cheapest possible option. And I know that cosplay is a very expensive hobby and you try to save where you can. But take it from me, I don't think the wig is the one that you want to uh, be cheap about. Especially because if you have a wig and it's a recognizable character, like say if you're cosplaying as Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh, he has the five-pointed hair that's three different colors. Um, if you have the Yugi wig and it's stunning, people know that it's a Yugi wig, you can wear a maid outfit and people will still recognize you as Yugi. You can wear uh, uh, your regular everyday clothes, people will still recognize you as Yugi. So if you can get yourself a nice high quality wig that fits your head, um, again, you can still cosplay. You don't have to have everything else. Um, you can still be that character.
No, I completely agree. I mean, and I think people they really need to do your research. Or, for example, if there's a character, I mean, does it hurt to just, even if like they've never seen the anime or the show, but they still want to cosplay the character, do you think it hurts just to do a little research on the character so you have an idea in case someone comes up to you and asks you about the character or something or who you're cosplaying as?
Oh yeah, and when I when I cosplay, I usually like so I cosplay characters that I love. Like, I don't really cosplay. characters that don't have some sort of emotional attachment to, or I just don't like them. So when I cosplay and I'm making the cosplay, I'm putting it together, or packing, or whatever it is, getting ready for the convention, I'm rewatching the media that it came from, whether it's a movie or a TV show or an anime, or if it's a manga, I'm rereading the manga. So I'm what I do is I kind of constantly are refamiliarizing myself with the character. So that way it's fresh in my mind when I show up to the convention space. Because like you said, some people will come up to you and like want to interact as with you as the character, and you can have boundaries about that. And it is not consent. But if you're somebody who's into uh, in-person cosplay role playing, because play is part of the name, costume and role play, cosplay. If you're into that part of it, it doesn't hurt to refamiliarize yourself with their interests, their lore, um, and be prepared if somebody does want to.
Yeah. And one thing I forgot to mention about convention stuff, it is okay if you're not able to go to the convention. We're all, especially if you're older and you have a job, you have bills, you have rent, stuff like that. It is okay if you miss out. Yes, it's gonna suck, but just know that there is always the next convention. There's always a local one. Or if you want to know more about conventions, YouTube is your best friends,
Mhm.
convention showcases, con vlogs, stuff like that.
Yes. And
And
and conventions are not the only space you can cosplay. Like you can cosplay in your bedroom and make TikToks and post them and have an online audience. You can get together with your friends who live on opposite sides of the country on a Discord call and just hang out and cosplay together and play games or chat. So there's one of the things that's so cool about cosplay is that it's very like open to all of these different avenues of being. You can be a cosplayer and never go to a convention. You can be a cosplayer who cosplays in their room, um, and it's fine. Like you are still cosplaying. You are still having fun being a character. That is cosplay.
I cannot, I can't argue with that. All right, so we're got 10 minutes left. We just got one more round of questions
Okay.
and they'll be into this.
Part three.
I do apologize.
It's okay.
So now we're finally into the last bit of this. It's usually it's gonna take a lot of editing, but I don't mind. Now we're going to get into some of my favorite questions. We're going to talk about some of the cosplays you've done and then just some last minute questions. First off, what is that one cosplay you've not done in so long that you would like to bring back? Whether, it was just, it didn't do, it wasn't great at first, but now that with what you've learned and what you know, you want to bring him back.
So I so I'm looking at a list of cosplays that I've done because I put it all together to prepare for this interview, and I was like, oh, I wonder like are any like good enough to bring back? Because I've done cosplays. I did Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. Um, and that was kind of cursed. But I've done Ash Ketchum, Pokemon. Um, I've done uh Langa Hasagawa from Skate the Infinity. Like these are all kind of like one-off cosplays. Like I did them like with a buddy, or like I they were closet cosplays, and I didn't put a whole lot of effort into them. But I think the one that I would love to actually revisit and take a little bit more seriously would be Armin from Attack on Titan. When I did, I used my natural hair. I guess not really natural because my natural hair color is brown. But when I did my uh, cosplay of him, I had really short blonde, and it was that short kind of like pixie cut, and it had bangs. And I looked a lot like him, so I just used my the hair that grew out of my head to cosplay him, but I didn't give him a full outfit. I was wearing like a much more casual kind of like modernized version of him, but I did his Titan makeup where he's spoiler alert if you haven't the last season of Attack on Titan, he has his Titan marks that are like seared into his cheeks. So I did that makeup. Um and it was really cool to like do kind of like facial scarring and like bruising and just sinew and like cool like X makeup. So I think if I would revisit a cosplay that I've done, it would be Armin, and I would give him the whole treatment of like what I do for Dark or Carly. I have a lip sync idea for him too, but
Ooh.
that's that's down the line.
That would be cool to see. Now, what's that one cosplay? I called them vaulted cosplays or cosplays that like you were curious about it. A friend asked you to do it, but like you only did it once because like it was just really just wasn't your thing. Do you have any like what's a vaulted cosplay that like it will never see the light of day ever again?
I did a Happy Fairy Tale with a friend. Must have been like in 2018 or something like that. And it was they were Carla, the other cat from Fairy Tale, and I was Happy. So that way it would be like a duo cosplay. But I've never seen Fairy Tale, so I didn't know what's going on. So and that one was also very full cosplay. It was like uh we made ears and a nail and we wore like kind of down like one color shirts and shorts. So that way it was like we were like kind of humanized versions of the characters. But that was one that I'm fine with that one staying in the vault.
Fair, honestly. I mean, I think we all have those cosplays. Just like, yeah, it was in theory it was cool, but like I would never do it again. Not
Well, and
unless like
it
some,
was fun.
not
It
unless
was
someone
like
like,
there's
not
good
unless I was like
memories,
really
but
convinced. No, I completely get it. Um, what's been like the biggest cosplay you've ever done? Like it took like a lot of work to do.
I it depends because there's a lot of different work that goes into many of the cosplays that I would say are the most difficult to put together so far. Um, when I cosplayed as my Valentine from Yu-Gi-Oh, um, that one was really difficult on like like a sewing kind of level because I had never done that many zippers before. It was my first time sewing like a really short skirt, so you had to make sure that all your measurements were just right, and I had to remember that you have to be able to get into the outfit. It can't just be like closed off. Like you have to give it like buttons or zippers. Like you can't just materialize into the outfit. So that was kind of difficult sewing wise, but it was also difficult because uh she wears really long fingernails and they're difficult to type with and like just do stuff with. She wears those really tall platinum go-go boots that go all the way up my thigh, and they're this tall. And I was walking around ComoriCon slash downtown Portland, get to my photo shoot in those shoes. Um, and so that was difficult to just maneuver and exist. Um, but I think the most on like a personal level, the most challenging cosplays are the ones that are a little bit more like revealing. Because I'm someone who likes to keep things private and I dress more modestly um in my everyday life. And the most recent cosplay I just did what is Krista from Fern Gully, which is old uh animated movie from the 90s. And
It's such a good movie.
it's a such a good movie and she's a fun character, but she wears crop top with one little shoulder thing and this tiny, tiny skirt, and that's it. And walking around my photo shoot for that cosplay, which was back in March of this year, was uh it was very difficult to be there with that much
I
skin
mean,
on display.
for anyone wondering, because I can't show this. This is. I mean, I can see, especially if you're like up in like like the Portland area, the cold weather. I don't ever think it's ever warm up there, but I can see. I mean, for
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot of outfit to that outfit. Um,
because
and
it's like stuff she got that was like from around the forest, basically.
yeah, so she's pretty, she's crafty. But that cosplay is one that I've had to be more creative with how I actually wear it, um, in order to be comfortable wearing it. So I've had to get like fashion tape and I've gotten like protective garments that go underneath. Um, and I'm trying to figure out if there's other ways that I can manipulate the cosplay to be more comfortable because she's another one who I have a great lip sync idea for, but I don't know if I'd be comfortable wearing that cosplay on stage.
Oh, I completely understand and get it. Like I mean, there are those cosplays that everyone wears. Or like, yeah, it's great to wear, but in theory, like, how do I make it work so I can like be comfortable in it wearing it at an event and stuff?
Yes. And like I was saying before, you can change cosplays to suit your own needs and your desires. So one thing that I have been playing around with is making her like more modern, like kind of giving her like a yeah, athleisure kind of outfit. Um, so I might do something like that. Uh, but who knows? That's down the line. Done. I did the photo shoot. My photographer was amazing. And I can't wait for those photos to come back and I'll start posting them and show you guys.
Can't looking forward to see. Next one. What is your all-time favorite cosplay? Like, no matter how many times you cosplay it, no matter what convention you go to, if you can wear it, you will wear it.
So easy. It's Carly. It 100% every single time. Um, I love her. She's great. Um, uh, I have two versions of her. I have the dark signer version, which is the orange outfit with skirt, and I have her regular pedestrian outfit where she's in jeans and a blue and white striped shirt. And uh,
By the way, I'm still sorry for mistaking you for Mokuba from Yu-Gi-Oh! When I saw that.
no, because that's a joke in the fandom that she's like Mokuba's like future like offspring, like because down the line, uh, because Yu-Gi-Oh! 5 happens in the future, not in the current day when Yu-Gi-Oh! Is set. But it's a running joke that she's Mokuba, but so I don't take any offense when people mistake me for Mokuba.
Nice. I mean, it just the outfit. It's just that I haven't I've like I the only Yu-Gi-Ohs I've ever seen is the one where like they're on a racetrack. I'm not sure which one what Yu-Gi-Oh that is. I think that's
Probably BB 5Ds then,
yeah.
yeah.
I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh DX, which is my personal favorite, mainly because of Jaden's main card Karibo.
I love Karibo. I love him. I have my little Yu-Gi-Oh shrine over here. I have all my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. So
And of course, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie was also my favorite too.
yes,
Let's
so
see.
good.
Oh yeah. Now, dream cosplays and future cosplays. What are some cosplays you are currently working on or wanted to do this year or in the near future? And what is a all-time dream cosplay? It's a cosplay you always wanted to do, but it's just not in the skill set or budget right now.
So the ones that I'm working on right now are um Kagome from Inuyasha
Oh, Kagome,
and
nice.
Kagome, yes. I keep saying her name wrong.
It's okay. I didn't mean to just.
Kagome from Inuyasha worked from over the garden wall.
Oh,
Uh,
is he the one with the
the pointy
teapot?
hat.
Oh, the pointy hat. Never mind. I thought the one with the teapot on his head.
No, my friend is gonna be the one with the teapot on his head, Greg. Um, so I'm actually, my best friend is going to be Inuyasha when I'm Kagome, and he's going to be uh Greg when I'm Wirt. So we do a lot of like duo cosplays together. So I'm working on those two for this year. And dream cosplay. It's gonna be, I have two that I have like really big dreams about. They're both from Yu-Gi-Oh, but the first one is from Yu-Gi-Oh GX, which is Yubel. I would love to do Yubel, which is
Isn't she the blonde?
no. So Yubel is the demon that is like uh uh trying to lure Jaden back in season. I
Oh,
think she's
oh,
introduced in season
wow.
three,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
she's mostly
I
in
can
four.
I can.
Yeah, so
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know if I'd really be able to do like the wings, but I'm so fascinated with how to like make that wig because it's two colors, so it's like split down the middle, and then there's a lot of stuff that you can do with that outfit, with like the claws and like the bodysuit and stuff like that. So that's one of them. And then the other one is Yusei Fudo from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, the main character of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
Is he like the one
But
like has
that one is a
like the yellow blonde streaks in his hair and wears like the
yeah,
jacket?
the blue jacket.
Yeah, I know
Yeah, so
I kind of know who you're talking about.
I love that boy. He's like favorite anime boy ever. Um and I'd love to do like a really serious cosplay of him, like getting as accurate screen as possible. And this is why it's a dream cosplay to actually do a photo shoot with a red motorcycle as him. Because
Ooh.
you have to have a dual runner if you're gonna be from Yu-Gi-Oh!
I
5D.
mean, fair. Um,
So if you know anybody with a red motorcycle, hit me up.
anyone watching? Now I do this thing where I add on to like a cosplay. I think I can see you do,
Oh
and I
yeah.
think who I can see you. I can see you go as Cherry from Skate the Infinity.
Ooh, that would be really fun. Uh
Because also I'm in the midst of looking because I plan on going as Joe. I'm
oh,
looking for someone to do a group cosplay of Cherry and Joe um from Skate the Infinity. Mainly his chef outfit. I would never do his other outfit because I don't like showing that much skin.
no, it's really cool. Um Yeah, if you would do like the chef outfit, I guess I would be in like his like kind of more his business kind of outfit. But his skating outfit is so cool too.
His skating outfit's really cool, and he has his mask thing as well.
Yeah. I will say I was that was something that was kind of a silver lining when I went to KomoriCon in 2021 because everybody had to have masks on because it was right after COVID. And I was no, it was yeah, okay. I must have made that cosplay in 2021, but did the photo shoot in 2022. I can't quite remember. It's all a blur. But I remember uh, actually enjoying wearing a mask during that convention because I was cosplaying as Dark Sign or Carly, and I had a black mask over my N95, and it just added so much like mystery and allure to the character. I was like, okay, I like this. I like the vibe. Um, and also I love being safe.
No, it's always good to be safe, in my personal opinion. I 100% agree with that. Um, so now on to my personal favorite questions. Have you ever had any cosplay mishaps? It's basically something ripped, torn, shattered, anything that could go wrong did go wrong with the cosplay.
Probably many, but the most recent one was well, actually, so when I was on stage, my first lip sync when I was in Dark Signer Carly cosplay at KomoriCon stage, and we were about to the showdown. So they're announcing like what we're gonna do, me and the other contestant, and we're just like waiting there, kind of, last minute shake off the nerves, like get ready. And I'm adjusting my skirt, and I realize that the buttons have completely come undone.
Oh no.
And I'm like, you can see in the video of me kind of like looking and making like a shocked face. It's because I realized that the only thing that was holding the skirt up was the safety pins that I had put on before. So I had safety pins to the tights that I was wearing underneath, and then somehow when I was moving around, the buttons had unclasped. So I very quickly uh, buttoned them back up and prayed.
Oh, that's. I think like it's never fun like when you have a cosplay malfunction, but I think like the two worst place to have a cosplay malfunction, whether you're male or female, is like the butt region, or if you're female, when like up here is,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the worst of it is when that happened on stage. So I was very, very thankful that I had my safety pins literally covering my butt in that moment.
Yeah, it's never fun when you're like literally mooning the the audience.
No, and, well, and I will say that there could be in a more revealing outfit, especially if you're in a space that's like a family-friendly convention. It is your responsibility to prepare for mishap. Like if there's a chance that it could happen, plan on it happening so that way you can prepare for it. So even though the buttons came off, I wasn't going to be flashing anybody because I had safety pins on and I had safety shorts on and then I had on underneath the safety shorts. So there are multiple like safeguards to keep
Even
everything
there was a full
safe.
malfunction, you're still being protected and everything, which is
Exactly.
good. Next question. Have you ever had any WTF moments at a con where it's like, did that actually happen? To like, yeah, okay, I need to leave. Like it was just like, what the hell just happened?
I don't know.
Or just like, any awkward moments or anything like that?
There's been awkward moments for sure. Like on the subject of wardrobe malfunctions, there was someone who unfortunately had a wardrobe malfunction. I think it was last year at KomoriCon. And it was very awkward for sure. Um, but luckily they were able to fix it in the moment. But it was still uncomfortable. Other awkward moments. I don't know. No, everything's been pretty like again, like welcoming and positive and supportive. Um, I don't run into like weirdness, I guess, um, usually.
Well, that's good. Um, Now last one of this before we get to the final question. Last two finals. Um, have you ever had like any amazing convention moments? Like to this day, it's like something you always remember because like the coolest thing to ever happen.
Definitely. I have, excuse me, I have one that's really sweet. So I went to Anna Medford last year, must have been last year. I went to Anna Medford last year, and I was walking around as Dark Signer Carly, and just in the artist, I was just hanging out, and this tiny child runs up to me, like I'm like full evil mode, like like my cape is like billowing behind me, and this small child runs to me and asks, like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I was
Oh.
like, "Oh my God, this is and I was like, absolutely. And like we posed and we did a little like a pose for their parent who was taking the photo. It was like, do your best evil face, and we did our faces together. And that was so sweet. Um, and then just other moments that really stand out to me is because I was raised on Yu-Gi-Oh! And because friendship is power and friend is strength and magic and amazing, I really latch on to the friends I make at conventions. So having experiences like the cosplay lip sync at the end when everyone is on stage and cheering for each other and hugging and like giving each other high fives and like showing off what their like other like contestants can do, those moments of like genuine human connection are just priceless to me.
I mean, I can't argue with that. Any good moment at a con is always like the best thing ever, in my personal opinion, at least. If you're having fun at a con, that I think that's what really matters. As long as you have fun.
Yes.
It sucks that, post con blues are never fun. You got to meet all these amazing people, do all this cool stuff, and it's like next thing you know, well, con's over. Now it's time to basically stop being um Superman and going back to being Clark Kent, so to speak.
Right. And I will say that the longer that the community and like if you're building friendships and relationships with people who you meet and continue to hang out at conventions, the post-con blues or post-con depression only gets worse as you go on because so often it's the only place that you interact with these people in person unless you are lucky enough to live close by to them. So leaving conventions starts to feel like leaving home the longer I am in the convention space.
Oh, I know. I feel that a lot. Um, Two more questions now. What kind of impact has this had on you as a whole? Like being able to do this for over 10 years, go to the cons, cosplay your favorite characters, be part of like the lip sync stuff and all that.
I have gotten so much more confident in who I am as a person. Um, it sounds counterintuitive to and feel confident about yourself because like you don't look like that. Like I actually don't have black hair. Like I actually don't have like super buff muscles or whatever it is cosplaying as. But for me, when I cosplay these characters, because they are characters that I have sort of like connected with, like whether it's like what they've gone through or the journey that they're on, I get to explore myself through that character and I get to like play out kind of their personality and attach it to my own, if that makes sense. Um, and it helps to build my confidence in who I am in the regular world because I can remember that I was able to strut down the stage as Carly Carmine and on that stage and be, super cool. And that helps me get through the day when I'm having a terrible day at work and I have to just pick my head up and keep going. Um, so has built my confidence, my self-esteem. It's given me so many friendships. As I said, I can never say enough about my lovely, wonderful friends who I met through cosplay. It's given me a lot of like cool just opportunities as well, like to be interviewed, to do photo shoots, to be in performances. All of these things would not have happened if I had not started cosplaying all the way back in 2015. So it's really cool to look back and the differences between who I was then and who I am becoming. Um, and I can only imagine what it'll be like in another 10, 11 years.
I mean, I could tell you're gonna be one of those cosplayers. It doesn't matter how old you are, you're gonna still cosplay. And I think
Mhm.
honestly, it
Going to be
doesn't
in
matter how old you
in a
are.
cane and still cosplay.
Nice. Um, Last one. Any last minute advice you like to throw out there for those who are listening and are watching this?
Mm, don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to the haters. Find the people who you trust and who you know are supportive and positive influences in your life. Let them be the ones who steer you away from negativity and drama and have a fun time. Like enjoy this to the to the extent in which you're comfortable and put yourself out there a little bit and try some things like with those friends that you've made and can trust. And if you can, be the person who goes to somebody else and introduces yourself because you might just make a friend and that friendship can take you.
Oh, wholeheartedly, I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, it's just like in your typical anime where the characters will meet these great people. Granted, we'll never see them in any other episode again. But like, it's great to make these types of friendships, through this community. Yes, this community may not always be the greatest. I'm not like trying to scare anybody, because let's face it, there are some of those out there that just want to try to keep it to themselves, this hobby and everything to themselves, and not let anyone in. Personally, I think nerd culture and geekdom is like for everybody. Yes, it's definitely, the con scene has definitely changed over the years where it's like, A, it's just to be the nerds and everything who grew up watching this and were made fun of it, but now it's like, you know, people who weren't into this are now into this. And there's nothing wrong. And I think there's personally nothing wrong with that. If they're chill and everything and they're not going to be a major douche about it, perfectly fine. Yes, I know we're got 9 minutes left. We're almost done with this anyway. Um, so finally, again, Aaron, thank you so much for coming on to this. It's
Of course,
definitely
thank you for having me.
looking forward to seeing you at Rogue Comic Con and Kimura Con this year. I'm only doing one day of Rogue this year because of weather and work, as much as I would like to do 2 days. And I'll probably see you at the other local ones too. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media so they can stay up to date with your cosplays, your cons, your lip sync stuff, and all that other fun stuff?
I am only on Instagram. I don't exist on any other social media platforms. So you can find me on Instagram at Aryn, ARYN.CHI.
Well, again, Aaron, thank you for coming on. And that should about do it. As always, I'm Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and shout out to those who support the channel.